Okay, now let's talk about the analysis of the Prince method. So we have already seen that uh, the performance of Kruskal. Now the time to discuss on the performance of Prim's method. Let's see here. This is the Prim's algorithm. Already we have discussed and we have already uh, implemented or used this algorithm in the graph to find out the minimum spanning tree. Now we'll see that what is the running time. So here you can see that here we are doing two main tasks. So you can say task one is basically initialization work. This is, you can say, the task one that we are doing here, which is basically uh, initialization. And in this basically we are constructing a heap, you can say, because here in the second task we have to do extract operation. So you can say in the task one we are building a heap, and in the task two we are doing the extract min operation. This is one thing that we are doing mainly, and also we are updating the vertex based on this condition. So we will see that how the cost will incur in each of the tasks. So let us look here. So this is your task one. Here for each vertex you have to initialize every vertex with infinite value, and also you have to set the predecessor uh, to nil. So here you can say this is actually incurring cost V. And also if you uh, build a heap for your litter process, the cost of building a heap is big O of n, and here n is actually referring to the number of vertex. So here it will incur big O of v cost. So when we are doing initialization and also we are building a heap, that is the queue. So here we are saying the queue we are having, the queue is actually acting as a heap here. So here for building a heap the cost is big O of v. So we are doing this effort, and this effort, that is actively, it will be big O of v effort is required in the task one. Now while q is not equals to empty, means while q is not empty, we are performing extract min. So we are performing the extract minimum value from the heap, and this we are doing for all the values of v. So here we have v number of vertices. So you can say we are performing this operation, these operations we are performing v number of times, and this extract min is actually uh, and the cost of extract min is log v. We know that what is the cost of extract minimum from the heap, that is log n. So here we are representing the n with v because we are working on the vertex. So the cost of extract min is log v, and then for each v, means again we are doing internally v number of times we are doing this job. And what we are doing here, we are updating these neighbors of the vertex which we have extracted in the extract min procedure. And because we are assuming this as a heap, so all the vertex which will be acting as a neighbor can be at most log v. So it will take log v time. So now if we arrange all these effort to find out the effective running time, you can say this is uh, big O v, which is the cost for the task one, which is at the initial stage, and then plus you are doing v number of times, you are doing extract min, that is the cost is big O of log v, and then you are doing v number of times this updated task which is of log v. So as a whole you can write this is big O of v, this is all your task 2. So we can compile all the tasks, we can just add all the tasks to see the effective cost. So this is v big O of v, and this will give you v big O of v log v, and this will be uh, big O of V square log V. And effectively, if you see the three components, you can say this is nothing but just big O of V square log V. So the cost of Prim's method is big O of V square log V, and we have seen the cost of Kruskal method is big O of E log E. Now we have a different kind of scenario where we can make a decision that which one will be good to use, Kruskal or Prim's. Now to decide which one is good to use, Prim's method or Kruskal method. So we have seen that we have two different methods for finding the MST, then which one is good. Now it all depends on the type of the graph. Now we have two terms that we are using with the graph. One is the sparse graph and the dense graph. So in the sparse graph, we have a relation that where E is almost equals to number of vertex, but in the dense graph, E is almost equals to V square. So keeping this in mind, we can conclude that Kruskal is actually good when we have a sparse graph. So for the sparse graph, Kruskal method is good, and for the dense graph, we have Prim's method is suggestible, because you can see here when E is equivalent to B, and the running time that we have seen is big O of E log E is equals to big O of V log V, which is almost the same thing, right, that we had discussed in the Kruskal method. Now in the Prim's method, and which is said to be very good in the dense scenario, here we have E is almost equals to V square. So you can see the the cost that we have got, this is V square equals to V square log V, which can be also written as big O of E log V. And also Kruskal can be implemented using a simple data structures. So we have discussed both the algorithms and the running time, and also we have realized or identified that for the sparse graph, Kruskal method is good, and for the dense graph, the Prim's method is good. This is all about the analysis of these two algorithms. So thank you very much, and see you in the next lecture. Bye for now.